welcome back to this channel, Tea Time with Peace and Joy. I'm Doris. So last time we talked about the four distorted thinking patterns that we start with, and if you haven't seen the video, you can see it later, or you can click here and watch it first. So today we are going to continue and talk about point 5. So number 5 is labeling. So some people, it's easy for them to have that automatic thinking and label people. That may not be the best thing if we label either people or situations, because then we are thinking in a way that is not too reasonable. So let me give you some examples. For example, parents, when their kids are 6 or 7 years old, they may start lying, and that may be so hard for you to accept at first, because they've been so good all the years, and all of a sudden they start lying, and so you start worrying, right? And you may say, oh, you're a liar, you're such a liar. But that may not be the best thing, first of all, to label your child, because they may grow into that role because of labeling. That is not a good thing. But the other thing is, if we think of it that way, then it distorts our thinking and our interaction with that person. So for example, if you always are friend with this person, and all of a sudden you ask them for their help, say, hey, this Saturday will you have time to help me clean up certain things you offered last time, remember? And they said yes, and then they may say, like that morning, they may call you and say, hey, I'm so sorry, but I have some emergency, I won't be able to get here today. I'm so sorry about that, can I help you another day? You may start labeling, saying, oh, you know, this person, they're just the ones who will promise you whatever, but they are not going to keep it, right? So that may not be the case at all. You have to really feel like, oh, asking them, talking to them, what had happened, is it something that I can help you with instead, or you know, things like that, to find out more. But if we just label that person, and it will totally change our interaction with another person, and it's not good for our way of thinking, because it will stress us out, and also it's not good for the interaction or the relationship. Okay, and number 6 is magnification or minimization thing. So for example, if I, in a public speech, I coughed, and then and I went back, then I feel like everyone is looking at me, oh, they must think I'm so unprofessional because I coughed so hard in the middle of it. And in the entire speech, they may be thinking and focusing on that one thing, and they thought that was really embarrassing because they are magnifying it like so big. That embarrassment is so big for them, and eventually they may be afraid of public speaking, even just because of that one incident. The next time they will be like getting up and thinking, oh, so maybe this time I'm going to do something again, and that will really embarrass myself. But you know, in reality, honestly, if you ask those people, those audience, maybe 15 minutes after the speech, they may not even remember that happening, right? Or even if you said the wrong word, that is like quite embarrassing, even that. People are not going to all remember it, and even if they remember it, they won't think that that person is unprofessional. They may think that, oh, you know, that happens to everybody. But if we try to magnifying like the whole thing, it will really get us into a really bad situation, and we may really be embarrassed and be develop that fear about certain things. And minimization is the other way around. There are something that we may have to pay attention to, but we minimize it and then just forget about it, and then we don't learn from the situation. Okay, so number 7 is mental filter. So we may have some mental filter, and in a way that, especially for example, if I have social anxiety, then I may think to myself that, oh, no one likes me, I'm such a boring person, no one wants to talk to me. And in reality, maybe my friends still talk to me, but I don't register those. That is like filtered. through my mind, and I didn't see those. What I see is that when they were not talking to me, I take note of that and say that, oh, they don't want to talk to me because I'm so boring. But that may not be the case, right? They may have asked you a question and you may have answered it shortly, but then you may think, oh, that was just like a 1 minute thing, and then they start talking to all other people for 10 minutes. So, all those things is all because of our mental filter and how we see it. Because in that situation, although we are not talking directly to each other, but you are in part of the whole conversation. You can always jump in and you can always say what you want to say. But if we have that mental filter, we will only focus on and we will only see things that actually reinforce what we had been thinking, like no one likes me, or no one wants to talk to me, and so our anxiety will go up instead of go down, right? So we don't want that. So that is another thing that we should catch ourselves and see if we have that distorted pattern of thinking. If yes, then we may have to do something about it. Okay, and number 8 is mind reading. So sometimes that happens, especially like even with couples, like when they first date, for example. We dated for 3 times, and this time when I went out with this guy, for some reason, he's not been talking the whole night. I know that he probably thinks that I'm not attractive anymore, he doesn't want to date me anymore, and that is why, So that is my reading. I didn't even ask, right? But maybe it was just because he's tired. Maybe he couldn't sleep, like he was so excited that he's going to see me today. He didn't get much sleep, and so he was so tired after work, and he couldn't think of what to talk about. Or maybe something bad happened at work. We don't know, but using mind reading may not be the best thing at all. There are a lot of assumptions in there, and that is not healthy for our interpersonal relationship. And sometimes even going back to the example of giving a speech, right? Maybe I'm on stage talking, and then I'm looking at those people who may or may not be looking at me. And for the ones who are not looking at me, maybe I will be like doing mind reading. I'll be like, oh, it must be so boring to them, and they don't want to listen to me. That's why they are not looking at me. And for the ones who's looking at me, maybe I'll be thinking like, oh, they are staring at me. Oh, maybe what I just said upset them. Maybe they really didn't like it. So if I keep doing the mind reading, what happens is that it's not going to help anything. It's just going to keep giving me anxiety that we don't want, right? So that is another thing that we have to pay attention to. So we talk about another 4 parts today, and if you didn't watch the first one, you can go watch it. And I also want to let you know, remind you that whenever that happens, whenever we react to certain things in a very negative way or out of proportion, we can always come back and look at these patterns to see if we fell into the trap of doing one of those. Okay. So at the end of today's video, I would like to share with you another Bible verse. It's in Psalm 94, 19. It said, "When anxiety was great within me, your consolation brought me joy." And that is so true. For me, when I'm anxious about things, if I pray to God, there's always that comfort, and it calms me down. So I hope you can do the same. So if you like this video, give me a thumbs up, share with your friends if you think it will help them, and also subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so. We always talk about topics like this, so if you are interested, subscribe to us so you will get the notification when we upload our next video. I'll see you next time. Bye.